So you've woken up to another heartbreaking day. And it's important to name that because when we jump into counting our blessings without processing our grief, we're spiritually bypassing. And that grief is going to come back and say, hey, what about me? So in this meditation, I invite you to hold the fact that you are waking up with a broken heart and that it makes sense. And that something that you love and care about has been destroyed. Or maybe has come to a natural end. But whatever it is, acknowledging that your grief makes sense. And sometimes people ask, how do you make grief go away? And the answer is you don't. If we look inside ourselves, if we visualize where the grief is in our body, perhaps we can find a spot in the body where it lives. Perhaps the stomach, the heart, the chest, the eyes. There's no wrong answer. And if we imagine drawing an outline around the shape in which the grief lives, and perhaps this shape extends outside of us, there's an expression that our grief doesn't shrink, our life grows around our grief, and our love grows around our grief, and holds it and carries it in a meaningful way that allows us to continue engaging with the world around us. So before we get into anything else in the meditation, I just want to give a moment where we name that gratitude is important. And it doesn't replace the processing of grief. But today you have already made a choice to hold time in your schedule to physically be present and meditate and acknowledge your grief and its heaviness or whatever texture or weight it feels, whatever color it feels, whatever it looks like, feels like, tastes like. Giving gratitude to the fact that you made a choice to listen to a meditation that others might have been like, ugh, and skipped. Because it's very hard to deal with grief, and a lot of people just choose not to. But your capacity for grief deepens your capacity for love, and you're choosing love today by being on this meditation. So with that, closing your eyes if you haven't already. And my disclaimer for you today is that there is no wrong way to do this meditation. Even if you end up tuning me out, you are here and you are engaging with the pieces that you can. And every single day that you practice this meditation, things like background noise, things like our own feelings that come up, they won't be as distracting. They won't be as upsetting. And if they are upsetting and distracting now, that's okay. We're just going to observe that. We're going to assume that if it's coming up now, it's ready to be healed. And if it's not ready to be healed, it's at least ready to be acknowledged. So if you can, with your eyes closed, notice your breath. And with the next inhale, straighten the spine as much as you can and allow yourself to hold a straight spine as much as you can. And just know that whatever you're doing is good enough. If it's a little bit straighter than it was, if you're sitting a little more upright than you were, or if you're acknowledging me talking and you are in fetal position and you're like, I am not about to straighten my spine, amazing. These are all correct answers. And as you exhale, imagining your muscles softening and allowing your exhale to be a little bit longer than your inhale. So we're going to try this together 3 times. Inhale, allow your back to be taller, or notice if it won't. Exhale, allow your body to be softer, or notice if it won't. I'm repeating that again. Inhale, and exhale a little bit longer than we were inhaling for. Inhale, and exhale a little bit longer than we were inhaling for. And the reason that we do this, the reason that we exhale for longer, is it sends information to our nervous system that we are currently in a place that is safe. And when I say safe, I don't mean that our problems are not real. I mean that if you're listening to this and you're not safe, if you're running from violence actively in this very moment, I just want to commend you on your practice and your dedication to your practice. But probably the majority of us are sitting somewhere where we know we at least have a little moment of privacy. And if we don't, knowing that we're still choosing to meditate, even when privacy is uncertain, even when safety is uncertain. And I'm not telling anybody to prioritize anything, any type of way, just acknowledging that that is something that many people value. And if you are safe, understanding that sometimes safety is when a lot of grief that we've been carrying decides to come out. Maybe you're grieving over something that is bringing up other grief that you haven't processed yet. And just acknowledging that you are not behind. Even though your mind might tell you you're behind, you are not behind. Every moment we take to sit with our grief and to feel its discomfort and to allow it to increase our capacity for love is a radical act. So whenever you're ready, bring your consciousness back into your fingers. Maybe give them a little wiggle. Back into your eyes. You can either keep them closed and notice how it feels to have them closed. Maybe it feels refreshing for your eyelids to be closed. Maybe you feel restless and you're quick to open them. Maybe it feels safe to have your eyes closed, or maybe it feels safer to have your eyes open. There's no wrong answer. We're just bringing our awareness and our consciousness into our eyes. You may flutter them open if you would like. Whatever you do next is up to you. And I just want to thank you for practicing with me. And this is a very radical area to practice acceptance and to sit with our grief. And it may not feel like it in this moment, but you'll notice over time your capacity for love and presence increases when you process your grief. Thank you for doing that together today.